So now guys, as we know a lot of ZBrush main functions, or just we know how to open file or something, but whatever, we need to customize our ZBrush interface. Why? Because working with the standard ZBrush interface is super slow. It's almost impossible for me. So I think everybody would benefit from customizing their interface in ZBrush. So I will show you how to do it. If you don't want to follow all the things through, you can do just following. Just go to Preferences, go to Config, and then Load UI. You will be able to go here and go to the Project Files folder and take this CFG file. It's Absolute Beginner ZBrush Niku Interface CFG. Press it and open. And now you will have everything that you need to continue onward with this course. But if you like, not everything, I will show you one more thing. Now that you have this interface inside, you have to make your shortcuts because you won't have them. I have them. You see, Standard 1, Clay Tubes 2, Pinch 3, Move 4, High Polish 5. It's very important. It's one of the most important things when you're making custom interface, to make your hotkeys. How to make hotkeys? I will show you now, and you can continue. To make hotkeys, you have to hold Control Alt and click on the item you want to change hotkey to. And you will notice in the top left corner, press any key combination to assign custom hotkey and stuff. So now your mouse should remain here in this item. If you go beyond it, operation cancelled, you know? So watch, Control Alt click, and now I will press 1. And now the short key for this will be 1. Then I will Control Alt click here, press 2. Control Alt click here and press 3. Control Alt click here, press 4, and so on and so on. That's how you assign hotkeys. But when you load this interface, when you load these lights here, and because they are not here by default, those all the materials and stuff, you will probably not have this alpha brush. Yes, because it's a little bit custom, but basically alpha brush is standard brush with RGB and ZAD off, because I don't want every time when I want to polypaint the object to do this on the standard brush. But later in the tutorial, on the course, I'm doing that, so it's not a problem. Next thing, ZAD is the default, not the sub. Next thing, we have a lot of things here, and we have a custom menu with some shortcut assigned to it. It's ZZ Custom, and the shortcut will be, my shortcut is Control-Shift-Alt-A, because it's very close. The A key is very close to Shift, so it's very easy, and also it's a non-use combination from ZBrush, so it's cool. And then if you want to assign it, Control-Alt-Click, then Control-Alt-Shift-A, and then it's assigned. And then whatever you're doing here on the canvas, you can Control-Shift-A and then choose some of these options, and we will do that in the course of this course. And a very important thing, if you are loading this like I did, you should go and store config, press this button, master configuration file can be saved, because if you don't do that, the next time you restart ZBrush, it won't be here, it will be the default. So you have to store config, and one little tiny thing, when you make your short case, you have to go to Preference, Hotkeys, and Store. Store startup hotkeys. When you press it, ZBrush will store all the current hotkeys into its memory, and every time you restart ZBrush, you will have them. If you don't press it, if you don't go to Preferences, Hotkeys, Store, and press it, your hotkeys, when you restart ZBrush, will be gone. That's it. Let's go and make our custom menu for those people who are not lazy enough. I'm pretty lazy, so I understand people that will load it and then continue on, but with those people that want to make it from scratch, let's do it. Maybe I will show you just some of the things, and the others you can figure out yourself. But let's start it. Restore standard UI will restore the absolute standard UI you have, with a little bit of exceptions, because your hotkeys will still be assigned. As I have my hotkeys now, they are still assigned I have the brushes, I can change them with my hotkeys. So 1 is standard, 2 is clay tubes, 3 pinch, move, and so on. So the hotkeys will not be reset. Maybe we can reset them from hotkeys. Restore, store, save, load. No. Okay, but that's okay. So first thing we want to do is go to preferences again and dock this window by just clicking on this icon, little icon here. You see, click, and it's docked in this area. You can dock it, of course, if you double click on the border here. You can dock it in this area, but we don't need it for now. So we have to first, in order to customize the interface, go to config and enable customize. When you enable customize, press it, ZBrush will allow you to Control-Alt move objects around. So Control-Alt and just dragging. Control-Alt and just dragging. If you want to delete something, you just drag it into the screen and you delete it. And now I deleted my perspective button, which is the short key is P. But we can go to draw and just Control-Alt, drag it back here. So nothing is irreversible. Of course, you can, if you make a mistake, you can always go to preferences. It's here, and restore standard UI, or just load my UI from project files. So the next thing we want to do is start putting our brushes here, which is the most important thing in my opinion, to have your brushes here and to assign them hotkeys. Sometimes I use the brushes here because I have some brushes that are in this area that doesn't have hotkeys on, because I have only 9 hotkeys from 1 to 9 and I use only to 7. But that's how I'm used to work. So in the beginning you won't have almost any brushes here in the brush menu. The brush menu is here, brush, and you will have to just click to dock it here. If you don't have any brushes here in the, this is the brushes that are currently that were used in this session probably. So what do? We go to press B, or we press here. It's the same. So when we press here or here, it doesn't matter, we get the brushes. And now, for example, we want the standard brush, and standard brush probably will be here. We can drag brushes only from this area to the interface. So dragging and putting it here. It's very wide, you will notice. How to fix the wideness of the brush? So Control-Alt, drag it to place it in this area. And now I want the brush to be square, not rectangle. So I will go to my, I think interface was the thing, UI, and white buttons will turn off. And now you see it's a square. The other thing I will you'll pay your attention to is the button size here in the UI palette. Again, in the preferences, interface, UI, button size. Button size in my case is 38, which is the lowest. In your case, by default, it will be 40 something. If you want to have these smaller buttons to have more area to work with, you have to dial it down to 38, and the changes will take effect after you restart ZBrush. But just dial it down and continue working here with this with me. So standard brush will be 1. Next brush we want will be the clay tools brush. We press B, then we press C to go to the brushes that have C on them, which is clay tubes brush, and we find clay tubes. It's here. We just press it to make it active here, and it will appear clay buildup. It will appear somewhere here. I cannot see it, but it should be here somewhere. Yeah, let's change to another brush and clay buildup. I cannot see it, which is very, very strange. Clay tubes, here it is. But this is clay tubes 2. Because I assigned the short key 2. So it shows when something has a short key like BPR, for example, is Shift Q, you notice. And some other items also have. And this clay tubes brush, which I lost again, it's here, have this too. So when you select the brush from the brush menu here, when you select it, it will appear in this area and you can drag it, because you cannot drag from the brush menu. You cannot. You can drag only from the brush palette here. So clay tubes will be second. Then we want the which was the third brush, pinch brush. So we go B, P to go to pinch brushes, select it, and now it will appear here. Let's see, pinch, yes, Control Alt drag it, and so on. You can drag your brushes here. Since you can load my interface, this I will show you faster how to do it. The next brush will be the move brush. It will be 4. The 5 will be high polish brush. 6 will be inflate brush. 7 will be damp standard brush. It's very good brush. And the 8 will be the Z modeler brush. And the orb cracks brush will be here too. Next thing, I won't continue, you know, it's the same. Next thing we want to do is put some materials in this area. You will notice that we have them in my custom interface. Materials, let's go to material window, dock it here. Just close the brush window. And let's see one thing. Let's go to interface, palettes, and one open subpalette is on. What this means is when we go to, for example, our geometry tab, you know, it's we can open subtools, and then we go to geometry, and the subtool will be closed, which I don't like a lot. So I will go and disable this option. Pretty good. And now we can continue with our materials. Let's go to material, open it, and now I will drag materials from here. I want here to have standard material, which pretty much should be here. Basic material, yes. I want it here. I want some other material like toy plastic. It's for the ice, is very good material. Basic material, this is a custom material that we will make in the course of this tutorial, because I'm recording this video, as you can see, after the course is completed. But whatever. Reflected map, why not? Let's put it here, and maybe gold we want. But we want to appear here, the gold. So we go to B. Not gold, we go to material. So material is here. Press material here. Or M. No, M is not. So material. I will notice the materials, I will talk about them later, but we have to find the gold material. Press it and it will appear here, the small icon. Control Alt, drag it here. And we have materials and this. The next thing, what I do is I just drag those items here. Remember dynamic mode, why not? It could be here. I just remove those move, scale and rotate because I don't use them. You might not remove them. It's up to you, of course. And I'm just arranging my items as I need them to be. Of course, here we need to put another very important thing from color menu, fill object, Control drag it here, Control Alt drag it here, and it will be here. Of course, if we want to see if we are on edit mode or not for the menus, enable customize should be also here, and store config also will be here. Okay. Yeah, and now you can disable customize and everything. Remember, when you're making shortcuts for your brushes or for anything in the interface, you have to disable this button for shortcuts, because otherwise Control Alt clicking will not get you to do anything, just nothing, you know. But when you disable it, Control Alt click will get you to make a short key. Yes. Let's go to my basic material that I have done for the video, for the tutorial, because the normal basic material is a little bit dull. So this is better, of course. And then we can continue with some other things, like, for example, we go to our let's see, geometry tab. Subtool could be open too. Yes, geometry, and go to modify topology and get some stuff from here like mirror and weld. You can enable customize, Control Alt drag mirror and weld here. And we can Control Alt drag also from transform palette some things to help us, like this, this is the symmetry stuff from transform palette. XYZ. Okay, let's dock this palette. It will be much easier. It's up here. So M also. So X, Z. Okay, Y is not here. This is Y and Z. They are on the same spot. That's interesting. You can put one item on top of the other, which is completely wrong in my opinion, but whatever. Radial count, R also, and all those things, very nice. Also, we can put our lights here. It's very important. Lights, especially when you render or stuff, I will dock the menu here just by pressing this button. Okay, light, press it, and it go here. If you want to get it out, you just either drag it or just press this button again. So the light, we need only this preview of the light, pretty good, and 4 of those first lights, and 4, but I use only those 2 that are active now. This is the one, and diagonally this is the rim light. Then intensity is very important to have here, although it's making this this interface element a little bit wider, but I need it. Then the color of the light is pretty important. Ambient is also good to have, and from light properties the shadow. And that's it. It's very easy, just alt dragging those things. You have to know what to drag. Of course, when you get through this course, the whole course, you will notice that you will know what you want to have on the screen. You will just start to know this. So weld points, also we will get where it is. It's on geometry tab under the tool menu. So tool, down, 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 geometry, down, 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 modify topology. Yeah, I know, a little bit complicated, but if you don't want to mess up your head now, just load my interface, store config, make your hotkeys, and you will be set to go, you know. And of course, if you are worrying that you'll have to sit on another ZBrush sometimes and work on the standard interface, don't have to. You just get a flash drive or on your phone, upload this CFG file, which is the absolute beginner's ZBrush Nico interface CFG, or your own CFG file you can make by going to preferences and where are they? Save UI. You can save your own file and just load it in whatever ZBrush, and you will be set to go. Of course, you will just have to set up your hotkeys, which you can also save. So you can save the hotkeys file, you can save the CFG file, and you'll just have to load those 2 files and it will start working, and it will be much quicker. I promise you that with the standard ZBrush interface, you will work at 1 speed. With my interface, if you get used to it, or your own interface, you will work at least 3 times faster. That's completely true. I'm not exaggerating at all. It's completely true. So we go to geometry and go and put here weld points, but we have to be enabled customize. Okay, we are. So weld points goes here. Weld distance also below it. And del hidden we will put in another place. I think we are kind of done. Of course, I have here in my interface inflate, which I use kind of often. So we'll go to deformation, which is again in the tool palette. The tool palette is the most important. There are all the tools you need, the subtools here and everything. So we go to deformation under the tool palette and we find our inflate. Here it is. We have inflate balloon. We have a lot of things here. We can check them out. Don't be afraid to test. It will be very important to test. It's very much fun to do also. So inflate, I will place it right here. And again, I will store config. Master configuration file will be saved in order to save this things that I have done. And also, of course, go to preferences, hotkeys, and store the hotkeys too if I want. And the hotkeys, I will tell you again how to do them. For example, since I never save a file from here, or almost never, only in the end of the project, because It saves a little bit bigger file. It's not that that good. I always save here, tool, save as. So I save a tool. And the default shortcut for the save file is Control S, and for the save tool, Control Shift S. I'm not sure, but I also always go Control Alt click. And since my enable customize is active, I won't be able to make a short key. So I'll disable the customize, and I will Control Alt click on the save as and press Control S. And now with Control S, I can easily save my tool, my current tool, which is very good. Import and export, you can also I have put Control Shift S to export, because I sometimes export a lot of OBJs, and export will export only your subtool as an OBJ file. Save as will save all your subtools in the current tool. These are the tools here. We can change, this is different tool, it will have its own subtools, and this is a different tool. It has like a lot of subtools, not that much. I mean, you see, this is the beginner's course, so we end up with like not more than 15. Let's see. Yeah, there are 12, 13 tools, subtools. 13 subtools we have only. So it's not very complicated, obviously, and I think everybody could do it if they have the will to go through all the tutorial videos. So in the next video, I will show how to make your custom menu in ZBrush, which again, you don't have to do it, because it is in the CFG file which you can load. But if you want to see how it's done, just you can do it.